everyone. Cujo06241 here, and this is my sports vlog for the week. Not gonna bullshit this one, guys. Gonna cut straight to the point because it is 11:28 at night. It is Thursday, October 2nd. I gotta make this one quick because I gotta get Creepypastathon going. I gotta upload the third video. Please check that out if you haven't already. But this is a sports vlog. Let's talk some sports. Okay, starting off, Michigan got brutally murdered by Minnesota, 30-14, and we lost the Brown Jug. This is the second time in like the last 24 meetings that Minnesota has won, and ironically enough, it's the second time that I've had to sit there and watch Minnesota win. What's the big story about this game? The awful way that Brady Hoke handled this. I mean, I just want to point this out before I get any further. Shane Morris had concussion symptoms, and he was hobbling on one leg, and Brady Hoke just kept throwing him back in. He was totally careless. I speak for a lot of Michigan fans when I say this. Brady Hoke has got to go. That is it. There is no reason this guy should be the coach of the Michigan Wolverines anymore. He is totally careless. He's not winning the big ones. I can't see this guy as the coach anymore. I don't know why Dave Brandon hasn't fired the guy yet. But you know what? Dave Brandon needs to go too as the athletic director. In fact, on Michigan grounds, on the campus in Ann Arbor, I'm not even kidding when I say this, there was a rally to get Dave Brandon fired. Students signed signatures. There was even Michigan alum that was signing this petition. So, you know, I just can't believe all this drama it has come out of Michigan. I really can't. I have been supporting this football team my whole life. Not just their football team, their basketball team and their hockey team. I have been supporting this fucking school sports teams my whole life. And never in all my years of being a fan, of being a part of the Blue Army, or a Wolverine, whatever you want to call it, have I ever been so angry with this fucking program. You know, the last time I was this mad at a team that I supported, it was the Detroit Lions because they kept holding on to Matt Millen. I'm seriously I'm so pissed off that I don't even want to preview their next game against Rutgers. But because this is a sports vlog, I will anyway. I'm going to keep it short. Michigan just has to win. There is no way you can suffer another loss at the hands of another Big Ten team, which should be the Big 14 because there's 14 teams in it. But you can't lose this one. And if I swear to God, if they lose this one and Brady Hoke isn't fired, I'm gonna be so pissed. Let's just move on because I just can't fucking talk about this anymore. The Detroit Lions. Let's talk about the Lions. They beat the Jets 24-17. I didn't see the game. I apologize. I was at the Renaissance Festival and I got stung by a wasp on my elbow somewhere around here. I didn't get to see it, but I heard, you know, Calvin Johnson didn't really have a great game, but Golden Tate, Eric Ebron, they both stepped up. Something else I want to kind of cover is Geno Smith cussing at some fans. You know, I'm not a fan of the Jets at all, and I really do think it's funny that Geno Smith would, you know, bark back at the fans. He's an awful quarterback. I mean, the guy, like I said last week, he makes an art out of throwing interceptions. He is just god-awful. And I don't know why Rex Ryan bothers. But then again, the other alternative is Michael Vick, and he's another turnover machine. So it's like, hey, we got Michael Vick, we released Mark Sanchez, but hey, we're still a good team. No. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm pretty pissed. But I'm not here to talk about the Jets much. I just wanted to get into that because I do not like the Jets. It's great to see the Lions win it again. They're 3-1. I'm not going to be like one of those typical Lions fans, like, oh, Super Bowl. No, I don't think the Lions are going to go that far. If they continue on the path that they're continuing on now, they will make the playoffs. But they got to finish the season first. That has been the problem over the past few years with the Lions. Last year they started 6-3. They ended the season 7-9. In 2007, they started 6-2, and they ended 7-9. The big problem for the Lions has been finishing a season. They're 3-1 right now. To be honest, guys, they could go 7-2. They could win 4 more and just lose 1. And I will still be on the edge of my seat because, history dictates that the Lions will not finish the season. They have to finish the season. So, good track so far. They got to keep it up. That defense is just absolutely astonishing. It looks amazing. They're the number 1 ranked defense in the league, actually, so that's really good. You know me. I'm a big defense guy. It's not what you give, it's what you give up, in my opinion. That being said, let's talk about their game coming up against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have benched E.J. Manuel, and they're going to put Kyle Orton in instead. Yeah, don't adjust your volume or do anything to your computer. I literally just said that, and I'm not even lying. They benched E.J. Manuel for Kyle Orton, a guy who got benched for Tim Tebow a few years back. To me, that's just like a shot in the foot. I don't think Kyle Orton's going to do anything that E.J. Manuel couldn't do. Buffalo is not a bad team. They're on their way to something good. And I do think that they are a good team, but benching E.J. Manuel is not the way to go. And something else I want to get into, this is actually going to be Jim Schwartz returning to face his former team. He's the defensive coordinator in Buffalo. He was the head coach of the Lions last year, and yeah, so that's cool. I wonder how that's going to work out. So a game preview, I would say the Lions, they got to keep that defense tight. Don't give Kyle Orton too many options. Sammy Watkins is going to be the prime target. Cover him. Also, I think they have a tight end that's really good too. I don't know much about the Bills. I apologize. But a big factor that the Lions need to look out for is that running game. C.J. Spiller, Tashard Choice, and Fred Jackson. They are a nasty trio. The Lions got to look out for that run game. If they can stop the run game and not give Kyle Orton anything to throw to, I think the Lions will be fine. Calvin Johnson having a bad game last week doesn't concern me at all. I think he's going to bounce back. He's going to bounce back. I think the Lions are definitely going to win this one. All right, I wasn't really looking forward to talking about this, but the New England Patriots got completely embarrassed by the Kansas City Chiefs, 41-14. I mean, last week they were number 3 defense. I think they dropped to like number 4, I heard. I don't know, I haven't looked. But the defense just looked awful this game. The offense still is having trouble, and the biggest problem I'm noticing with that offense is not Tom Brady and not the bad chemistry with the receivers. It's that offensive line. They can't block. I don't know what the hell is happening. For a long time, the Patriots have had a really good offensive line. I think after Matt Light retired and they traded Logan Mankins, just the chemistry or something is not clicking. But the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, and whoever the offensive line coach is, they need to do some fucking work. Because if this offensive line doesn't get any better, Brady's not going to get any better, and your offense is going to suck all season, and you're probably barely going to make the playoffs, if you make it at all, because, I mean, there is still a chance that they may not win the AFC East, although the AFC East is a weak division. There's still that chance that Buffalo, Miami. I don't see the Jets doing it, so I'm going to stick with Buffalo or Miami. You just never know with those teams. New England has to snap out of this offensive slump, and they got to do it because they have a tough game ahead of them this Sunday night. And this is the game preview for the New England Patriots against the Cincinnati Bengals this Sunday night. If New England is going to beat Cincinnati. That offensive line is going to have to block. And Brady's going to have to get better chemistry with these receivers, besides Edelman and Gronkowski, because Cincinnati has a tight defense. They're going to look out for that. They're not stupid. So, the keys to winning the game for the Patriots: offensive line needs to block. Brady needs to spread the ball out and hit more receivers. Brandon Browner's coming back, so that's good for the defense. And some guy named Times, a receiver for the Patriots, is coming back too. He led all the receivers in receptions in the preseason. I really do think Danny Amendola needs to get benched for this guy, or Kenbrell Tompkins, because I want to see more Kenbrell Tompkins. I think Tompkins is pretty good. Or Aaron Dobson. Aaron Dobson deserves a chance too. But Brady has got to build a chemistry with these receivers. And that offensive line's got to give them time. Let's just hope the Patriots can win this one. All right, moving on to baseball. The Tigers won the AL Central. They ended the season 90-72. Not a great record, but hey, I'll take a 90-win season as long as they win the division. That's all that matters. And they got Baltimore in the ALDS. They just played the first game tonight. Baltimore completely demolished Detroit 12-3. You know, Max Scherzer really didn't pitch the best game of his life. He didn't pitch a bad game, don't get me wrong, but he made the mistake of pitching to Nelson Cruz, who just eats the Tigers alive in postseason. You know, he is a complete Tiger killer, and he really tore it up tonight. Nelson Cruz had a 2-run homer, and he also knocked in an RBI at a crucial time in the game. You know, the Tigers' bullpen came in and just completely sucked, like as if that's fucking news. You know, this is a wreck, and come Sunday, they need to win. You don't want to come back to Detroit down 2-0, facing elimination. Even though you're coming home, it doesn't matter. You got to win this next game. You want to come back to Detroit with momentum on your side. So do I think the Tigers can win this series? Absolutely. Verlander's pitching. He has been lights out for the Tigers in postseason play. That is a beautiful thing. Let's just hope they can win that one and advance to the ALCS. All right, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is the Detroit Red Wings. They're looking really good in the preseason. Jimmy Howard has been an absolute tank, and by that I mean he's doing really well. He hasn't given up any more than, I think, 2 goals a game. He's just looking a lot better than last year. Granted, it's preseason. I know it doesn't mean much, but it still looks great. The Red Wings look like a very tough, defensive-minded team, and that's cool. I've already said it once. I'm a big defense guy. It's not what you give, it's what you give up. The Red Wings, I feel like the Red Wings suffered last year from way too many injuries. If that's not the case this year, if they can avoid the injury bug, I really do think that they can make the playoffs, not as an 8 seed, at least as a 6 or 5. Something like that. I really hate these new playoff rules. It's stupid, but it is what it is. I think the Red Wings can definitely make the playoffs at a higher seed than number 8 if they do not get bit by the injury bug. And even if they don't, they have a lot of young talent on that team, and they got to utilize it. They got to work it. And if Jimmy Howard can hold down the fort and have a great year in the net, because I already know Gustafson's going to do good. And if Gustafson gets injured, they got Peter Mrazek, who's been absolutely on fire in the preseason. And last year, he showed some good signs. He already has 2 career shutouts in the NHL, and he's going to be an AHL goalie this year, so that's really cool. But if Jimmy Howard can be more consistent than he was last year, and if the Red Wings can pull together and win close games and win against the bigger teams, like they start next week against Boston, if they can start off the season by beating Boston, I really do think that'll be a step in the right direction. I'm not going to call playoffs right away before the season starts. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to promise anything that may not come. But I think the Red Wings look a lot better than they did last year. And, well, let's hope they do something this year. All right, everybody. That's all I got for you today. Hit me up on Twitter at Cujo06241. We can talk more sports, movies, TV shows, video games, anything you want. I am a very sociable guy. If you like what you see here and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. This is Cujo06241, signing out.